A Limited follows a standard costing system. I think there is certain mistake. No problem. We will correct it. Standard costing system. A Limited follows a standard costing system. The following are the details of standard mix of materials used in the production. Standard price per material, standard quantity, standard price per unit, and total is given. Now, I have told you in previous session that whenever we talk about standard quantity, we usually refer that what actual is a composition of a material, if composition of a final product. If a final product is just made of one material, then definitely we will be calculating only three variances, that is material cost variance, material price variance, material usage variance. Now, if the product is made up of two or three materials, like in this questions, P, Q, R. So definitely in this question, we will be calculating uh, all sort of five variances: cost variance, price variance, uses variance, mix variance, yield variance. So in this question, we have been given the material which is composed of a product which is composed of five materials. Standard quantity, standard price is given, and similarly, the actual quantity produced is given. Actual output is 8,000, and the standard output is 25 units. So, as I have told you before calculating variances, we need to do certain basic calculations which will make our the presentation of our answer easy. So, first of all, we all know there are certain uh, uh, equations which are necessary while calculating the variances. First of all, we will calculate the equations, and after that we will go for the final calculation of the variances, which will make the presentation of our answer easy. And the way I am asking you to do the variances question, this is the best way to solve any variance question, because most of the time students are very confused regarding the formulas of variances and everything, and when there is a long question how to solve it, and they often tend to get confused. But the way I'm teaching you today, it will really help you, and it is the most easiest way to do any kind of calculation. First of all, we will calculate all the products which are used in calculation of variances. First is actual cost of materials used, which is AP into AQ. Next, we will calculate AP into AQ for this is 3.75 into 8500 units into 3000. Next is 8 into 5500. Actual price we all know, this is 3.75, 7 and 8. And similarly, actual quantity is 8500, 3000, and 5500. So this is how we will calculate actual cost of material, and we will calculate for each material separately, P, Q, and R. P is rupees. It will come out to be 31,875. Next, it will come out to be rupees 21,000. Next, it will come out to be rupees 44,000. Now we will do the total of all these materials. Total is 96,875. Now AP into AQ we have calculated. Next is standard cost of material used. Standard cost of materials used. Standard cost of materials used is equal to SP into AQ. SP into AQ. Now, standard cost of material is SP into AQ. Similarly, we will calculate SP into AQ for all the materials separately. We know standard price given in the question is 4, 6, and 7.5 units. So we will copy it to make our calculation easy. And we know actual quantity is 8,500, 33,000, and 5,500. So we will multiply it with 8,500. Next is 3,000. Next is 5,500. It will come out to be, after multiplication, it will come out to be 34,000. For material Q, it will be rupees 18,000. For material R, it will be 41,250. Next is total. Total is 93,250. So this is our standard quantity. Now, for calculation of mixed variance, we need to calculate SP into RAQ. And RAQ we have discussed is about actual mix into standard mix ratio. So standard cost of material, basically what we will calculate is the standard cost of material used had it been used is in standard proportion. which is SP into actual mix into standard mix ratio. So it will be for material PQR separately again. Material P, we know standard price. Standard price now they are saying actual mix. Actual mix is 8500, 3000 and 5500. It will be 17,000. Next is, now they are talking about standard mix ratio in the formula. You can see SP into actual mix into standard mix ratio. We know standard price we have copied. Actual mix, we know the total of actual quantity 8500, 3000 and 5500. After that, its standard mix ratio. We know the standard mix is 25, 15 and 10. And we have to find out the ratio of each composition of each material into a final product. So standard mix for material P will be 25 divided by total units, that is 25 plus 15 plus 10. So it will make 25 divided by 25. Similarly, it will be 25 divided by 25. Next is, similarly for material P, it will be 15 divided by 25. Ten divided by 25. So, sorry, it won't be 25, it will be 50, 25. It will be 50. Because the total of standard mix 25 plus 15 plus 10, it will be 50. It will be, so we will delete it and we will write 50 in front of it. Now, $30,600 for material Q. For material R, it will be 25,500. Next is total. Total will be 90,100. Now we got SP into RAQ. Our final calculation is for standard cost of standard quantity for actual output. Standard cost of standard quantity for actual output. It is calculated as SP into SQ. Now we have to calculate standard quantity for actual output. First of all, 25 divided by 25 multiplied by 8,000. Now what we have done over here, we know the standard quantity for material P is 25 and the total unit of a finished product is 25. We need to know what is the composition of material P when it is producing 25 units of a finished product in standard quantity. Means, I explain it again. How much of material P is in a finished product as per standard quantity. So, what we will do, 25 divided by 25, and we know the actual output is 8,000. 8,000. So, this calculation simply means how much of material P is in the standard composition per unit, and we will multiply it by the actual output for getting the standard quantity for actual output. So it will be 8,000 units. Now for material Q, we know material Q is used, 15 units are used when it is a standard prediction, means it is a standard estimation, or you can say it is a standard quantity. We are making a standard that 15 units of material Q will be used in 25 units of a finished product, and the actual, it is per unit, it is a standard that, but the actual output was 8,000. So for calculating standard quantity, we always calculate standard quantity for actual output. So in this case, 15 divided by 25 into 8,000, it will give you 4,800 units. Next is 10 divided by 25 into 8,000. It will give you 3,200 units. So this is the standard quantity for actual output. We know standard price is 25. Standard quantity, we all know, it is given in the question. It is 8,000 we have calculated, 4,800 for Q, and for R it is for R it is 3,200. So we will get rupees 3,200. $28,800. Next is we have to calculate it. We will get the value of 24,000. After this, we will get the total of rupees 84,800. So this is the total we are getting in a rupees form. Now, what we are doing, our basic calculations are done. And to give you more elaborate understanding or a more clarity, let me explain you once again why we have done all these calculations. We know the formula of material cost variance is equal to standard price into standard quantity minus actual quantity into actual price. Next is material price variance is equal to standard price into actual quantity minus actual price into actual quantity. Next is material usage variance is equal to standard price into standard quantity minus standard price into actual quantity. Next we have material mix variance is equal to SP into RAQ minus SP into AQ. Next we have material yield variance is equal to SP into SQ minus SP into RAQ. So these are the formulas, and what we have done over here for making our calculation easy, we have calculated these particular values, that is this and these first, so that our main task only remains to input the values we have calculated in the formula. So as we know, first we AQ into AP. So we have calculated AQ into AP first. Then we also need SP into AQ. We have calculated SP into AQ and we are given three of all the three materials, and then we have added them. Then we also need SP into SQ. We have calculated SP into SQ for each material separately, and finally we will add them while calculate. We have added them together of P plus Q plus R. Next is we need SP into RAQ. So SP into RAQ is generally the formula for RAQ is actual mix into standard mix ratio. We have calculated over here, and we have of each material separately, and then we have made the total of all this SP into RAQ. So this is how we have make the calculation easy. If you are calculating for each material separately again and again, so the calculation will be very long, and the students are tend to confused while calculating these formulas. So in order to make the answer presentable, or in order to make the calculation easy, we have uh, we have adopted this method of solving the equations. Now the only a simple task remaining is variances. So we will calculate variances. First is material cost variance. Material cost variance. The formula for material cost variance we all know, SP into, and let us name these equations. Suppose this is one, if you will number them now, it will be more easy for you. It is 1, it is 2, it is 3, it is 4. We have 4 calculations we need to do beforehand in order to make the question easy. So first is SP into SQ minus AQ into AP. So you know that SP into SQ is 4 and AP into AQ is 1. So simply what we will do, we can write 4 minus 1. It is 4 minus 1. Sorry, it's not 0, it's 1. 4 minus 1. 4 we know it's 84,800. 84,800, and we will deduct 1. 1 from it, it's 96,875. So it will come out to be 12,075. And we know when the variance is negative, that is, value comes out to be negative, we always take it as an unfavorable variance and usually write A in front of it, which shows that it is an unfavorable or adverse variance. Next is material price variance. Material price variance. Material price variance, we know we need SP into AQ minus AP into AQ. SP into AQ is 2 and AP into AQ is 1. So 2 minus 1. 2 is 1. This is 33,625, and which is again adverse. Next is 3. We need to calculate material usage variance. Material usage variance. Material usage variance is SP into SQ minus SP into AQ. We know SP into SQ is calculated at the 4th number. So we 4 minus 2. It will be 4 minus 2. 4 4 minus 2. So 4 is 84,800 minus 2. This will be your there is certain calculation mistake is coming, no problem. We will mention it like this. Minus 2, it's 93, 20, 50. Now, fourth is material mix variance, that is MMP, which has SP into RAQ, and we will copy over here. SP, which is SP into RAQ, we have calculated at 3 number. Value is 90,100. It is 3 minus 2. Three minus 2. Two is 93,250. Three 150 adverse. Next is material yield variance. Material yield variance. SP into SQ. It is 4 minus 3. SP into RAQ. So fourth equation minus third calculation, not equation. So fourth is, we know we have calculated, is 84,800. And then third number, we will get 5,300 adverse. So this is all about variances we have calculated. And there was a lot of calculation, there were a lot of inputting of values in the formula. So in order there might be some confusions might be remaining in your mind. So in order to remove them, let us brief up the questions again. I'll explain it again. We have this question in front of you, which is saying A Limited follows a standard costing system. The following are the details of standard mix of materials used in the production. Now, for basic understanding, it is very much necessary that you should understand the question. The question is saying we have three materials in a product, P, Q, and R. And this is a standard quantity the company has calculated 25, 15, and 10, and price per unit is 467.5. So this is all about standard quantity per unit. Now, the company is expected to produce 25 units of a finished product. So this is a standard quantity calculation by the company. This is a 25 units of a finished products, in which if we say 1 unit of a finished product is composed of 25 units of P, 15 units of Q, and 10 units of R. So this is the question is saying, but the company actually produced 8,500 units, 3,000 units, 5,500 units at the given price per unit. And the actual output, means actual output, which is composed of all these three materials, is 8,000 units. Now you have to calculate variances. Generally, we students get very nervous when it comes to calculation of variances. So first of all, in order to make the calculation easy, write all the formulas you know. Material cost variance, price variance, usage variance, mix variance, and yield variance. Now what you will do, cost variance, now you see that what are the common multiplication calculations we need to do. First of all, we see AQ into AP. It's a very simple calculation. We will calculate AP into AQ of material P, Q, R separately, and then we will do the total. Next is SP into AQ. No problem. SP into AQ for material P, Q, R we will do, and we will do the calculation, and we will do the total. Next comes the material RAQ, SP into RAQ. RAQ, we know it is a revised actual quantity. And revised actual quantity is calculated whenever we are calculating material mix variance. So revised actual quantity is equal to actual mix into standard mix ratio. So actual mix, we know it's 8,000, 3,000 and 5,500. It is 17,000. And standard mix ratio. Standard mix, we know standard quantity is calculated by the companies 25, 15 and 10, and we have to take the ratio out of the total standard quantity the company has actually calculated. So total standard quantity is 25, 15 and 10. So for material it is 50 units. It is 50 units. So standard mix ratio will be 25 divided by 50 for material P, 15 divided by 50 for material Q, and 10 divided by 50 for material R. So we will multiply all these three values, and finally we will get the total value, that is 90,100. This is a very simple thing. Next is what is left out is, you can see from it is SP into SQ. SP into SQ, we stand, first of all, we need to calculate standard quantity. Standard quantity we need to calculate first, because we are expected to produce 25 units of a finished product out of material P 25, in which 15 is Q and R is 15. So we need a ratio. We need to see that how much of material P is standard when 25 units of a finished product are used. Then how much of a material Q is used for if 25 units is a finished product, and how much R is used when 25 units is a finished product. And these standard quantity we will calculate for the actual output. We always calculate standard quantity for the actual output. So standard quantity is, we all know it's 25 divided by 25 into 8,000 units. And we know per unit we are utilizing, this is per unit standard, but we need to see what will be the standard quantity for actual output. So we will multiply it by 8,000, because 8,000 is a actual output. 25 divided by 25 into 8,000, 15 divided by 25 into 8,000, 10 divided by 25 into 8,000. 8,000, 4,800, 3,200 is a actual quantity for standard quantity for the actual output. So SP we know it's 25, 15, 10, and a standard quantity we have calculated over here is 8,000, 4,800, 3,200. We will multiply it. Finally, we will get the total of 84,800. Now we have all the values, and now the calculation has become very easy. We know material cost variance is equal to SP into SQ minus AQ into AP. 4 minus 1, we got 12,075 adverse. MPV is SP into SQ minus AP into AQ. We got 93,250. If we will subtract M4 minus 2, we will get the value of material usage variance we are talking about. We will get the value of 8450 adverse. Again, material mix variance 3 minus 2. Actually, we have given the number of each number to each calculation 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 types of calculations we have done, and we have not written the full calculation. We have specified these values by using the numbers. We get 8450 adverse. Then material mix variance SP into RAQ, that is SP into RAQ we have already calculated over here. SP into RAQ, this actual mix into standard mix ratio is actually the RAQ value. So for your reference, let me write RAQ is equal to revised actual quantity, and the formula for revised actual quantity is actual mix into standard mix ratio. So this is revised actual quantity. Revised actual quantity we have calculated over here. This particular part, actual mix into standard mix ratio, 17,000 into 25 by 50, 17,000 into 15 by 50, 17,000 into 10 by 50 is actually the actual mix, and actual mix has come by the addition of these actual units. So we will calculate it and we will input this value in the formula. Similarly, material yield variance is 4 minus 3, which will again the adverse value. So all the variances are coming in adverse value. Now, what you can do is you can actually verify this. You can do a verification also. Verification is material cost variance is equal to material price variance plus material usage variance. Material cost variance, we all know it's 12075. 12075 is equal to, should be equal to, actually it should be equal to 3625 plus 8450. So these values, left hand side and right hand side, will come out to be 12075 is equal to 12075. So this is material cost variance plus material usage variance. Next is to material usage variance is equal to material mix variance plus material yield variance. Material usage variance is equal to, which we have calculated over here, is 8450 adverse. is equal to material mix variance just a second. I think material mix variance will be over here. Plus there is some typing mistake which is coming. Material yield variance, actually I have forgotten to mention this value, which is adverse again, no problem. We will mention this over here. So this will come out to be, again, left hand side will be equal to right hand side, and it will be 8450 adverse. 8450 adverse. So this is your material mix variance plus material yield variance. Now this is how we proceed with while calculating the various sort of variances, and for making your calculation easy, I think this is the best way when you are solving any calculation, any question related to variance when there are different kinds of materials. PQR is given.